The Saints got good and bad news today, and we are going to discuss it here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. Injury updates on wide receiver Bub Means, guard Trevor Penning, and new information for center Will Clapp. We are going to provide all of the information and the latest roster updates here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. And ladies and gentlemen, that is why you subscribe to the channel. Anytime there's anything notable happening around the black and gold, we are going to provide content for you. So be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. That way you don't miss any Saints content by Saints fans for Saints fans. Diving in head first with Will Clapp, the latest injury updates are as follows. Nick Underhill reporting his season is over as he has been placed on injured reserve with a Liz Frank injury. According to Mike Garafolo, that is the injury. This is information that isn't necessarily super duper new. It's just now official that his season is going to be over. We discussed that Will Clapp had a significant injury and he was going to miss some serious time earlier this morning. The latest now, not just missing significant time, he's missing all the time the rest of this season. Let's go over to Bub Means, the wide receiver. Really quickly, forgot to say for Will Clapp, it's a significant injury. He's going to provide very high-level depth for the offensive line. It was a homecoming for him this offseason in free agency. So, of course, it stinks that that's how things worked out, but now on to Bub Means. He is expected to miss some time due to an ankle injury that he suffered against the Los Angeles Chargers in preseason week 1. We're going to go back to Nick Underhill with an injury update on Bub Means because I do think with him, this is also an injury that should be heavily monitored by Saints fans. Obviously, Bub Means is not a player who is a wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 right now for the New Orleans Saints, but I did think that he had the opportunity to potentially develop into a really complimentary wide receiver 2/3, high-level wide receiver 4 for the New Orleans Saints. But Underhill, as we see on our screens, he is expected to miss some time, seeking a second opinion, and that will determine the outlook. Sometime, is it a lot? Is it only a few weeks? I don't really know, but I do know this. It's not really awesome injury news for Bub Means. I was really high on him. I am very excited about this player. I think that he has some really exciting potential, and I thought that he had a really good opportunity in Kellen Moore's offense, but he was carted off in the third quarter of the preseason matchup. It was an ankle injury, and this is something that's really, really unfortunate, specifically for Bub Means. It feels like there is a curse at SoFi Stadium, specifically for number 16. Last season, remember, the Saints traveled to SoFi in Inglewood and took on the Chargers in Week 8. However, he suffered an ankle sprain against the Chargers at SoFi Stadium. So lower leg injuries, not ideal for Bub Means when it comes to playing at SoFi Stadium. This is a big blow to the offense. New Orleans definitely was lacking in the wide receiver department, didn't really make any big moves. You signed Brandon Cooks, which sure is a fun one, but not huge. Didn't draft a wide receiver, brought in Moochie Dixon, brought in Chris Tyree. He's already off the roster. Like, this really wasn't a position group that got a lot of attention this offseason. This is a big blow. The New Orleans Saints now are losing their largest wide receiver in terms of size. You got a lot of speed, not a lot of size, and now you have less size. Bub Means Prayer Circle is what we are summoning now. We are trying to get nothing but good energy, good vibes for this player. I do think that he has the ability to make a big impact. He's just got to be on the field because the Saints wide receiver group has just been a little bit it's just been unfortunate. It hasn't been addressed a ton. Obviously, Chris Olave is an extremely productive and extremely effective player. However, he needs to get on the field and stay on the field if we want to maximize his productivity. The Saints already needed help at the wide receiver position, and this now means that they need even more. We can look at the wide receiver measurables here. The 10 players that are currently on the depth chart in New Orleans are as follows. Look on your screen. Nobody has more size than Bub Means. 6'2", 215 pounds. Of course, you have Juwan Johnson, you have Foster Moore, you have some of these other tight ends, but in terms of wide receivers, not a lot of size. And Bub Means, for what it's worth, has a very similar size and athletic profile to A.J. Brown. So in my opinion, I was thinking Kellen Moore, You know how you used A.J. Brown? I'm not saying it's going to be the same production, but Bub Means just do the same thing. Plug and play Bub Means into your offense like you had A.J. Brown utilized in that role for the Eagles. Now, it's time to send some good vibes to Bub. Type 16, his jersey number down in the comment section. Not ideal. Certainly not ideal for the black and gold. Definitely want to see him get on the field soon. Hopefully this injury isn't anything too bad, but he is expected to miss some time according to sources and according to Nick Underhill. Really quickly, guys, got to give you guys something kind of cool to look forward to. These new hats just dropped. Chatsports.com/New hat. They are the official brand new hats for the 2025 NFL season. I can tell you this. I know for a fact nobody in your squad has one of these lids. So if you want to get one and you want to have the newest, freshest, and sickest gear, chatsports.com/New hat. I actually did make this a little bit easier for you. I put it in the comments. I put it in the description. Just click the link, find it, go search, go get yourself some stuff, and you can walk away and be the proud new owner of some brand new, fresh Saints gear. I love the ball cap. I love the trucker cap. I think these hats are so fresh, and I think you need to get one. Use our link down below to get yourself some new swag. Ian Rapoport providing updates around Trevor Penning. This is actually, all things considered, really, really good news for the New Orleans Saints. He's a player, we all know the story, was a tackle on the left side. Moved over to the right side, played a little bit better. Moved now on to the interior as a guard, and he's really embraced that role. He's expected to miss just a few weeks with a foot injury, nothing major for number 70. It appears that he has found his home at guard, and as Ian Rapoport points out, and that's actually very true. Trevor Penning has gone on the record multiple times saying how much he likes the move to the interior offensive line and why he thinks that this is such a positive spot, why this is a much better spot for him than on the outside of the offensive line. Like I said, this is really, really good news, all things considered. Obviously, you don't want to see your starting offensive line miss some time, but you obviously also want to see, if there are injuries, that it's not anything super duper major. Trevor Penning, I do have high hopes for him. Expectations, I would say this is now or never this year to figure it out and be the guy. Otherwise, you better update that UFL resume, Mr. Penning. Let's take a look at the offensive line group in New Orleans. Couple injuries to deal with. Trevor Penning, he's injured. Will Clapp, season over. Torsilly Simpkins is the backup center. Dylan Radins, who struggled as a tackle in the preseason week 1 game. He is the backup guard. Did not have a good day as a tackle. Hopefully he can be a little bit better in a more comfortable spot where he's more used to it on the interior offensive line. And what have we been saying this entire time? If the Saints offensive line can stay healthy, we're in a really, really good spot. If they're not, this is going to be a long season. It's already going to be a tough one because we know first-year head coach with Kellen Moore, young quarterback in either Tyler Shuck, or young inexperienced quarterback in either Tyler Shuck, Spencer Rattler, Jake Hayner. Like, there are going to be problems. We already knew this going into the season. However, this just echoes and, it shows the importance of what we've been trying to say all offseason long. If the O-line can stay healthy, this is a solid unit and we can potentially stay afloat. But if injuries settle in the trenches, we're screwed. Plain and simple. If you want the injuries to stay out of New Orleans and you want the Saints to stay healthy, get in the comment section. Type F injuries down below. I want to give you guys a couple updates on the roster really quickly because the Saints have made a few moves recently. They waived tight end Mason Pline with an injury designation. They signed Roderick Daniels and Seth Green. Offensive guard Cody Whitehair worked out. Wide receiver Justin Ross worked out. So did center Scott Quessenberry. Jaden Peavy as well. He signed with the New Orleans Saints, the interior defensive tackle. So there you have it. Couple updates, couple pieces of news. Seth Green, the tight end, he's back with the New Orleans Saints. Wide receiver Roderick Daniels, defensive tackle Jaden Peavy are all on the roster. Will Clapp is on IR. Saints waive tight end Mason Pline. So there you have it. That's the latest around the black and gold in less than 10 minutes. Appreciate you guys watching today's video. We will be live tomorrow afternoon. I hope to see you guys there. Be sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications, and y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.